All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and I'm going to bring you a very short God rolled guide for this week's Grandmaster loot, the weapon you want to chase for, the Palindrome Adept, a Destiny 1 favorite, brought back to Destiny 2. You already all probably know about this weapon, but I want to give you that exact God rolled guide for a PvP and a PvE God roll. I've obviously been farming this thing quite a bit. I got that quick draw rangefinder roll here. I also have an overflow rangefinder roll here, and I even have an overflow one for all roll. Now, let's go ahead and pull up the light.gg API on this weapon. So, looking at the most important columns, the big perk columns here, we have in the last slot, Thresh, Rampage, One for All, High Impact Reserves, Rangefinder, and Unrelenting. The strongest perk, we're going to go for PvP first. The strongest perk in that slot is going to be Rangefinder for this weapon. Rangefinder is going to allow you to use this weapon at ranges that are way better than most 140 RPM hand cannons because it's the newer archetype. It's not held back by that old 150 RPM buff up to 140s. And plus the base stats, when you masterwork it, gives it a little bit more boost of stats, and it just has generally really good range as a base stat as well. So Rangefinder on the Adept Palindrome will be really nice. This is probably the role that everyone should be going for. There are other perks you might want to use and try out. Unrelenting is kind of a cool role as well. There's other perks out there, but Rangefinder being the best in my opinion for PvP, especially in high-end PvE, or PvP rather. Next up, we have the next column. Overflow is a great option. Getting a big magazine is nice. Outlaw is always nice for a little bit fast reload, although these 140s can reload really fast off the rip. Killing Wind, definitely a top tier option. Subsistence, pretty average option for PvP. Quick Draw, a top tier option, and Bottomless Grief, not nearly as impressive in my opinion. What you're really looking for would be Quick Draw is the one that I use, obviously, and Killing Wind, another really good option for PvP. In terms of magazine, obviously Ricochet rounds is going to be really good. Anything that gives +5 range will be awesome. You're looking for as much range as you can get with this weapon. It helps for the consistency, hit detection. Everything is really good when you get like a maximum range on these 140 RPM hand cannons. +5 range, +10 stability is really good. Ricochet rounds. And the same thing will apply to your barrel as well. You can get small bore, +7 range, +7 stability. That's really good. Hammer forge rifling and range masterwork is also going to do you a lot for the PvP role. Okay, now the PvE role. This thing is both S tier in PvP and PvE. So let's go over the PvE role. We got it right here. This thing is super beast. A lot of fun to play with. One for All, such a strong perk. And Rampage was the classic big damage boosting perk, but One for All has taken its place, especially in high-end content like Grandmasters. It's much easier to shoot 3 different targets and keep that 10-second proc going than it is to proc Rampage because the stacks run out because the timer is just so short on this weapon. Even with Rampage spec, it's still a very short timer and you can't quite keep those stacks going in something like Grandmasters, for example. So One for All, your best perk for PvE. Along with that, you have a variety of different other perks, but with that 10-second timer of damage boost, Overflow is easily the best option. Nothing else can even compare to that. Subsistence can be really cool, but really you're looking for Overflow because that gives you that huge magazine. I think it gets up to like 28 in the mag. It's insane. You can fire like all 28 shots with One for All's like 30+% damage boost. That's definitely the strongest perk combination. Along with that, you can get an even bigger magazine, maybe throw on a pendant mag. It does cap out at a certain point, so keep that in mind. You don't want to be using magazine perks when it doesn't work, right? So along with that, you could pair anything, something reload oriented, maybe range. Those things aren't nearly as important in PvE. Stability and range isn't quite as big a deal for these hand cannons. So whatever you land on with that isn't going to be too stressful. I think that Overflow and One for All will do you just fine. And that's really the 2 best roles you're looking for this weapon. And best of luck to you out there grinding the Proving Grounds. If you need to watch a little GM guide, you can watch my video on it. I showed the exact builds and weapons we use and how we do the runs start to finish. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.